Today, from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is the NFL on EA Sports.
And we are underway here in Las Vegas. On the return, Tyron Johnson. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Raiders set to go to work behind their veteran quarterback, and that's Derek Carr.
It's been fun to watch his development through the years, and right now what you see is a very confident quarterback who has a strong sense of self, totally understands the offense, and knows how to get the ball to his playmakers on the run.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. That's caught by Waller out left side. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Here we go! Here we go!
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
Meanwhile, Carr's throw pulled in by Renfro. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now Carr. He finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. Touchdown! Josh Jacobs, 30 yards. And the Raiders drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So the extra point good, and the roughing call going to move the ball out to the 50 for the kickoff.
And I think this is a good chance to pin them deep if you can land the kickoff inside the 5-yard line or so. Gain some field position for your defense.
The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. They could not ask for a worse start. You give up a touchdown on the game's opening drive, and then you turn right around and throw the interception on your very first play.
And this is where the coaching staff has to earn its money, because they've got to calm these guys down a little bit. Just as you noted, a horrendous start, both sides of the ball. But now the defense, which gave up an opening drive touchdown, they've got to go out there now and start playing like the team they want to be.
First carry for Josh Jacobs. And they'll get this down to the 10. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And a nice pick up there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here at their own 23. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced the ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. It's a big play there for Miami.
But we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
Tua to try again on second down. Being chased out left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open net is Waddle, complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. Jalen Waddle there to make the grab. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Now Brian Flores going to leave the offense out there to go for 2. The 2 are going to try and throw for it. Oh, it stays up. And a little floater there, but it'll wind up incomplete, falling to the ground. So what do you think the mindset was there? You can tie it with a PAT here first half. Why go for the lead right now?
The old school mindset says if you have a better team, you just go ahead and continue to try and dominate. There's also a school of thought, if you don't think you're quite as good, you have to try and take advantage of opportunities. And finally, I just think this is analytics coming into the game. Someone saying the more you go for 2, the better your chances are of actually getting them.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Try to run for it with Jacobs. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line.
I like his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Carr now on first down. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. Carr completes it, and he's got room. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line.
That turns into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, And after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Carr. That's complete to Richard, the running back. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on 1st down is Carr. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. To try again after the sack, Carr. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs now leads to a 3rd and long. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Jalen Phillips. The offensive line is in tatters as that's now 3 sacks in 3 plays. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. It's been a tight game to this point. What do they need to do, Charles, to break through in the second half and take the lead?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is thank their defense for keeping them in this game. And you know what I think the defense is saying back to them? Why don't you guys focus on getting some first downs, put some drives together, give us a little bit of a break here. If we can get some rest, we'll play even better for you. And, oh, by the way, pay off a few of those drives with some points, too.
And he's able to get it all the way down to the 20. A big play there on the catch and run.
This is what made the West Coast offense a staple around the NFL in the 80s and 90s. You don't have to push the ball deep downfield to come up with big plays, and there's an example of that right there.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Tua setting up shop to throw again. Escaping the pressure right. Tua hit, and the ball is out. And the Raiders have recovered. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S. Ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
They'll try and run it here. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And they turn the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalize a little bit on top.
Johnson won't return this, and the football will come out to the 25. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. Now Carr to try again after the pick 6. His throw incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Throwing his car on third down. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. That's going to bring up fourth down, only a gain of 2 there.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? Third down, they just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
A good kick that time, but also a pretty good 15-yard return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their 38. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Flush to his right. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. That catch good for only a couple.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Looking to throw again on second down. Tua looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Carter. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll bring up a third down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. He's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Setting to throw on first down is Tua. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Five yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs defensively. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Myles Gaskin taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. But just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
And that was the old QB one-man band play there on the conversion.
And look, let's face it, even quarterbacks who don't have great mobility, in certain situations, they're able to actually take the ball in themselves. Remember way back when Joe Namath against the Giants at the Yale Bowl, right? Remember Joe had all those knee operations. They thought he couldn't run it. No one accounted for him. He practically walked into the end zone.
Johnson won't return this, and the football will come out to the 25. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
So how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The Carr's throw here into the hands of Jones.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Carr going to try and throw on third down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Dolphins touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
And there's a quick momentum swing. INT return for a pick six, and then the two-point conversion good.
And even if you're keeping your wits about you, you're thinking to yourself, okay, extra point block team going into the game now. All of a sudden you're hearing defense. Everyone's scrambling for their helmets and throwing down their cups of water. That's a great position for them to be in, trying to score against that team. A little bit disjointed.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to...
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Jalen Phillips picks up his second sack of the afternoon. After the sack on first down, Carr, throw right side, going to be caught by Waller. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts, as he'll get it with still 1:20 left to go in the game. From the gun now on third down, Carr, and that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now Carr, got to have this one. Open man, that's Renfro. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Carr to throw again. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Here's Carr to throw. It's caught by Jackson. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. This complete to Jones. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And the Dolphins have got it.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. That one looks like he'll throw here. He'll let this go for the end zone. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
I've got a good friend in football, always talks about predictive history. He's got one of their 2 touchdowns. You can understand why they tried to find him again. Weren't able to connect, but the thought, that was good.
He wants it all for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at half,